In 2011, Greater Houston is on the cusp of being a global leader. The region has a strong energy industry, international ports, medical leadership, and NASA leads the way in modern technology. Over the next 3 years, with the ends of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, the U.S. economy picks up and Greater Houston benefits. With a rise in taxes and a drop in government deficit, the government puts money into infrastructure, bringing on more growth. Global information and new media technology enhance growth and stimulate financial markets. Our global connections are more than business and finance. They're personal and organizational. A more connected world is also a more competitive world, and competition leaves people feeling insecure. Their insecurity is heightened in 2014 when Iran tests a nuclear bomb. In response, the price of oil skyrockets, causing turmoil in the world economy. After months of acute uncertainty and international diplomacy, war is averted and the economy slowly recovers, but a nuclear arms race is on in the Middle East. Iran's nuclear test sparks off the age of moats and bridges. Protective moats are put around technology and intellectual property, trading opportunities and financial systems, while fearful people everywhere demand tougher immigration laws. As global growth returns, players of all kinds, nations, businesses, individuals, and organizations look for allies and partners. They let down their drawbridges wherever advantage may follow. In this new age, Greater Houston invests in a global future. People and new small businesses cluster around the expanded light rail. Houston also focuses on greater quality of life. Green spaces are created, and EPA regulations help to improve air and water quality. A 6-county consortium works to protect coastal counties and the ship channel from hurricanes. Work on the Ike Dike is slated to begin in 2018, a mixture of barriers and coastal wetlands. However, what fails to make progress is education. In 2018, an attack on the backbone of the internet paralyzes activity around the globe. Panic sets in as finance, trade, and government come to a screeching halt. Greater Houston IT experts are key in rebuilding and securing the system. Many business and private customers leave smaller banks to join larger banks with better online protection. As personal fear and insecurity rise, identity groups grow. As we come into 2020, powerful Mexican drug cartels compete for dominance in Mexico, the USA, and Greater Houston. The United States Border Patrol and the U.S. Immigration Service create an electronic surveillance system. But Greater Houston becomes an increasingly violent hub for drug trading. The Mexican oil industry, however, is finally open to foreign participation, creating new opportunities for many Houston companies. The 2020s brings a new economic growth cycle that raises global energy demand and prices. Unconventional fossil fuels, tar sands, shale gas, and deep water oil become more competitive, along with nuclear energy and some alternative fuels. Higher energy prices stimulate the market for energy efficiency. Houston's competitive advantage in nano and other technologies grows even stronger, while new electric charging points for cars spread across Harris County. In order to allay fears over diminishing raw materials, countries form blocs to protect markets and supplies. As blocs form, systems and values compete. Pacts around the world reflect differing economic and political systems. Trust is based on culture, religion, and above all, self-interest. In the Western Hemisphere, the EU, NAFTA, and some Latin American countries form Las Águilas de la Libertad. Throughout the 2020s, Greater Houston prospers from increased trade and a strong energy sector. Because Greater Houston is energy rich at a time when the rest of the country suffers from brownouts, the Alliance for Electrons is formed in 2024. This brings more people to the region, many seeking jobs. More people, in turn, create more urban sprawl. In 2028, the 6-county consortium celebrates the completion of the Ike Dike, just in time to ward off a Category 4 hurricane. The new coastal defenses hold, and investments increase along the ship channel and coast. Although business in the region is improving, the quality of public education is rapidly declining. Large corporations implement educational programs for employees' children. Together with the influx of skilled people moving to Greater Houston, this causes resentment among locals and children of the poor who don't qualify for the corporate education plans. Social polarization and resentment increases. But poor education does not hold the region back. By 2030, Greater Houston is the global competitor it aspired to be. The region is a major trading, energy, and technology gateway between North America and the rapidly growing economies of India, Brazil, and China. Although the U.S. economy and currency have shrunk in comparison to the rest of the world, Greater Houston remains a bright light. As a result, educated migrants from around the world come to the region. During the 2030s, the Texas Triangle, uniting San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas, becomes a reality, linked by the new high-speed rail system. They share an energy grid, talent pool, water districts, food production, and research. Greater Houston reaches a population of 10 million by 2040, twice the size of just 30 years earlier. A new coastal desalination plant is built to meet the high water demand. Development in the Texas Triangle forces many farmers into the Rio Grande Valley, just when drought becomes more common. With both Texas and Mexican farmers drawing water from the river, water skirmishes are more frequent. There are widening social chasms in the region, fueling frustration as cultures of violence multiply in urban and rural areas. With some ethnic groups more poorer than others, each time food prices rise, unrest also rises, turning into violent racial protests. In 2031, there's an 18-month global pandemic spread by frequent global travel, dense populations, and misuse of antibiotics. During the pandemic, hospitals are overrun, borders close, public places are vacant, and the global economy slows down. Greater Houston is also hit, but the University of Texas Medical Branch's Biosafety Lab helps to identify the pathogen, stimulating new drug treatments. Hygiene improves everywhere while the region's authorities expand the number of community clinics. However, fear of disease continues to isolate people who become reliant on the internet and more exposed to its proliferating risks. Over 30 years, fear and insecurity slowly dominate the world of Moats and Bridges. Without noticing it, people trade traditional freedoms for safety. They accept higher surveillance of their movements and transactions. As violent rhetoric becomes common, many Muslims in the region withdraw into their own neighborhoods. While many applaud restrictions on hate speech, they fail to notice when these become routine censorship. In the mid-2030s, police permission is required for political meetings of more than 100 people. Citizens are uncomfortable but acquiesce. By 2040, talented immigrants in Greater Houston feel more like scapegoats, targeted by racial profiling and stereotypes. They had come to the region for work and education. They had lived here for many years. Now, they decide they will be safer back in their mother countries. By 2040, the world has enjoyed 30 years of successful global growth. Technology has helped the world to manage resource scarcity. Competition has made every economy more efficient. But this success has also created serious instabilities. Blocs and coalitions compete for resources, access to markets, and control. Powerful rogue groups are unpredictably violent, both globally and locally. Classes are divided against each other while damaging storms and increased migration create wider insecurity. The world is now a very frightening place. Many say we have been using an old model to survive a new world.